Let's look at a strategy for factoring using the greatest common factor. So the greatest common factor is an expression that goes into each of the pieces and is the largest thing that goes into each of the pieces. It has two components to it. The GCF is going to have a number component to it and a letter component. So starting with the number component, what you're doing is you're looking for something that goes into 50, 10, and 15. And you're looking for the largest such thing. So for example, 1 goes into all of these numbers, but the bigger number that goes into everything is 5. 5 goes into 50, 5 goes into 10, 5 goes into 15. So my number component, 5. Now if this was 20 instead of 15, then I would have 10. 10 would go into 50, 10, and 20. So again, this is the largest number that goes into each of these pieces. It is the greatest common factor. Now, if I have a shared letter, so here I have x that's shared for every single term, then that's also part of the GCF. Now I'm wondering how many of these x's can I pull out? So I can pull out 5 here, 4 here, 3 here. So worst case scenario, the most I can pull out for the x's is 3. They all have at least 3 of the x's. So my GCF, my greatest common factor here, is 5x to the third. So what I can do, if I'm trying to factor this, is I could pull out this 5x to the third quantity, and then I should have an expression that when I multiply this by 5x cubed, I get this starting value. Starting with this 50x to the fifth, I've taken away the 5, so I'm going to have 10 left. 5 times 10 is 50. I've taken away 3 of the x's, so I have 2 more left, x squared. This next piece, I've taken away the 5, so I'm dividing this 10 by 5, that gives me 2. I had 4 x's, but I'm taking away 3, so I have 1 x remaining. Finally, for this last term, 15 divided by 5, I have 3 left over there. I'm taking away all of the x's, so I don't have any x's left there, just 3. Now you could write 3x to the 0, saying I have 0 x's left, or you can just leave that as constant 3. So this is going to be our first step for factoring in general. We're going to see if there's any greatest common factor that we can pull out, because I'd rather work with something like 10x squared plus 2x plus 3 instead of something like this. Larger numbers, larger powers. This is a messier expression than this expression. So I hope that gives you an idea of what's going on there with greatest common factor. As always, I'm around if you have questions.